Hey guys, Jordan here. I'm so excited to announce what we're going to be calling our whiteboard sessions. Today we're starting session one. And every single week we're going to be covering another topic that helps to launch you out in your personal leadership and your quest to become the game changer that you were created to be. Today is all about mindset. Now, I know you might think, well, mindset, I've heard that before. We're hopefully going to cover this in a little bit different of a way that gives you a kind of different perspective into mindset. So when I say mindset, what I'm specifically talking about is not just whether you're positive or negative or have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. What I'm specifically talking about is how you think, not just what you're thinking about, but how you think. So your mindset is your philosophy, and that's what we'll call it. Your mindset is your philosophy, and hopefully you guys could see that. Your philosophy. It's the way you think about something. Now, we all have a philosophy about everything, a mindset towards everything, whether that's our marriage, whether that's our parenting and our kids, whether that's our business, our organizations, our ministries, our churches, ourself, our own life, our relationships, our friendships, or money. Money, no matter what it is, we all have a mindset towards something and a philosophy about something. So why is this so important? Well, to put it simply, your mindset, your philosophy determines how you approach and handle that thing. Your mindset about something determines how you approach and handle that thing. So let's start with an easy example. Your mindset about your marriage determines how you approach and handle your marriage. So, mindset, your philosophy about your marriage is pretty simple to boil down. It usually goes like this. My marriage is fill in the blank. Whatever you finish that simple sentence with, my children are fill in the blank. My business is fill in the blank. Whatever you fill in the blank with is your mindset or your philosophy about that thing. So if you say that my marriage is difficult, hard, in trouble, paradise, wonderful, joyful, brilliant, amazing, whatever it is, that determines how you approach and handle that thing. My children are fill in the blank, a blessing, a joy, a struggle, frustration, a headache. Well, if I say that my children are a headache, how do I handle and approach my children if I always view them as being a headache? Now, no one wants to admit that, but sometimes that's really how we feel. We might not say it with our mouth, but we say it with our actions. We say it with our heart, that's how we are approaching and handling our children, like they're a source of frustration in our lives. So however you think about something is how you will approach and handle that thing. If I ask you, how is your organization or how is your company, your business, you might say it's fantastic. Man, we're booming. Man, we're growing. Or you might say we're stuck. We're in a stalemate. We're not making any momentum. And I'm frustrated. Well, that determines how you approach and handle that thing. So the real question is, where does your philosophy come from? Because it didn't just appear out of nowhere. It came from somewhere. And if we could reverse engineer this thing and backtrack and find where your mindset, where your philosophy about this thing is actually coming from, then it might help us, because mindset is not as simple, and you'll hear this. People make it seem like, oh, just quote these 5 things every single day and you'll change your mindset. Oh, just be more positive, or just have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. But we need to know the root of our mindset in order to get to the place where we could effectively change or transform our mindset, because your mindset, your philosophy, produces an action, and actions always produce outcomes. If you don't like the outcome, you have to change the action. But that action was propelled by a specific mindset or a philosophy, but that mindset doesn't stand alone. Your mindsets actually, and if I could get this marker to work, your mindsets actually come from beliefs. Your mindsets are generated from your beliefs. Okay, now your beliefs don't just stand on their own. Your beliefs come from ideas. Your beliefs come from ideas and concepts. Okay? So ideas and concepts create beliefs, because what you say about this idea, this thought is, that's true. I accept that idea, or I accept that concept. And once you accept that idea or that concept, that creates a belief. And that belief creates a mindset or a philosophy. And that mindset or philosophy determines how you handle and approach every single area in life, in love, and in leadership. Okay? So now it's just not the mindset we have to deal with. We have to deal with the belief that's driving that mindset. And in order to deal with that belief that's driving that mindset, we have to deal with the ideas and the concepts that are creating that belief. But here's the key. Those ideas and those concepts don't stand alone. They came from somewhere. Aha! Those ideas and those concepts came from a source. A source. That source is a generator for those ideas and those concepts. Well, the question needs to be, what is the source fueling and driving those ideas and those concepts that are creating those beliefs, that are propelling that mindset, that's determining those actions that you're taking and how you approach and handle that specific thing? Well, what is a source? A source is something that you turn to gain or to generate the ideas and the concepts that you need. Okay? Now, you've heard me say this before. If you get your source right, you get everything right. And the source principle doesn't just have to do with mindsets, beliefs, and ideas. The source principle applies to so many different areas in life. It applies to identity. It applies to purpose. It applies to significance. It applies to mindset. It applies over and over again. The simple truth, if you get your source right, guys, you get everything right. Now, source is the place where you go for new ideas and concepts. Source is the place that you turn to for wisdom. Source is the place that you turn to for understanding and knowledge. Source is the place that you and I go to over and over again. And that source gives us ideas and concepts. Now, the source that you turn to, you and I turn to for one big reason. And that big reason is what we call credibility. Credibility. Okay? We go to a source because that source has credibility in our eyes. In other words, I turn to the thing that I feel can give me what I need at that moment. Okay? So credibility is a huge issue. Over and over again, we turn to sources that are credible in our eyes. Those sources fuel or feed ideas and concepts into our minds. And those ideas or concepts that we adopt and accept, we call beliefs. These now shape beliefs inside of us. Those beliefs produce mindsets, and those mindsets lead to actions. And this is how this chain of thought actually happens and exists. But what determines credibility? What determines the credibility of a source? Well, it's actually three things. Number one, authority. Authority. When I view something as authority over my life, I give that thing credibility.